Hello there, good morning. It's the 9th day of March 2022, Wednesday for that matter. And of course, when it's Wednesday, you know how the show is like. It means that we have all the doctors in our midst. This morning, I'm privileged to have Dr. Abubakar Mazouk. Dr. Mazouk, when was that? I think somewhere Friday. I was going through your Facebook page, and I realized that there's more to you. There's actually more to you than just you coming here and then express your views on national issues. So the way you take your time to explain certain grammatical words and how they are used and how they are wrongly used, and as I went through, I was just going through like that. I was just going through some of your trips abroad. I saw. Good morning. I hope you're fine.
I'm so much humbled by these complimentary words. Yes, thank you so much.
Well,
it's
right.
all service to humanity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was enthralled. I was thrilled. I was just going through. I said, "Oh, okay, okay. How to use please?" I went through all of them. I was just going through how to say certain things, tautology, the tautologies, and everything else. I was just going through. I'm like, okay. That's interesting, by the way. Let me take our viewers through the topics that we have tabled for this morning's discussion. Libya suspends gender equality agreement, and that story we took from the Daily Graphic newspaper. World Bank director says Ghana's economy is in crisis. World Bank director says Ghana's economy is in crisis. We'll be talking about that particular story, and a very shocking revelation. Bullion van Corp robbers exposed. Bullion van Corp robbers exposed. Yes, very, very interesting. Last year recorded a number of bullion van attacks. It's very interesting to find out that some persons behind these attacks are the very people who are supposed to protect these bullion vans. Shall I say it's serious? So yeah, so we took that story from the Daily Guidance. And finally, yesterday was International Women's Day, and Ghana's First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Ekufuado, Her Excellency, she said, "Stand up to be counted." First Lady admonishes women. Stand up to be counted. First Lady admonishes women. These are the stories that we'll be discussing today. I know you are watching across all parts of the world, all parts of Ghana, all parts of Africa. Do well to send in your messages through www.facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Let me know where you are watching the show from, and as well do well to contribute as well to the show, and make sure that whilst contributing, please, I beg you, do not insult anybody. I keep on saying this. Some of you complain that I don't read your messages. I sometimes I have no other choice than to decide not to read them, because once you make insulting comments or disparaging or derogatory remarks against somebody, of course I cannot. I'm so respectful. I can't sit here and on television and blurt out insults that you have written. No, please, I can't do that. I didn't receive that form of training. Some people in other stations may do it, but here at Pan-African Television, we don't condone that I can assure you. So please send in your messages, send in your thought, but make sure that you exercise the highest level of decorum. You can carry your message across without any derogatory or disparaging remarks in there. You can say whatever you want to say. You can make your point without insult. So kindly, and that is very, very, very important to me. But make sure you share as well, so that your friends could also watch and also contribute. The fun part of the show is that the guests, our panelists, they are not the only ones who express their thoughts on issues of national interest. You also have the opportunity to do that, and like I earlier intimated, through www.facebook.com/Pan-African Television. We are streaming live, so make sure you like our page. We stream live for all our shows. We stream live, yes. Make sure you like our page and make sure you leave your comments. Dr. Mazouk, let's get into our very first story. Let me read some paragraphs of the story as captured by the country's oldest newspaper, the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says, the Libyan Transitional Council of Ministers, headed by Abdelhamid Deba, has suspended the implementation of an agreement with the United Nations on gender equality. The decision was taken on the eve of International Women's Rights Day at a government meeting last Sunday. According to the official statement, the suspension was taken as a precaution in view of the conflict of some of its articles with the provisions of Islamic Sharia law. However, the Minister of State for Women's Affairs, Huriya Tumal, who has been widely criticized by the Islamists, made it clear last October when the agreement was signed that national law takes precedence in the event of a contradiction. This step has sparked widespread controversy among Libyans and fears that this could contradict Libyan legislation and laws as well as religious values. A new government was sworn in before Parliament last Thursday, and its leader, Fathi Bachaga, is working to oust the incumbent executive in Tripoli. As Libya faces a major institutional crisis, Prime Minister Beba, who has been removed from office by Parliament, is stepping up efforts to boost his popularity so that he can stay in power. So this is the story. Libya suspends gender equality agreement as captured by the Daily Graphic newspaper. Before we started the show, Dr. Mazoki and I were having a conversation about this particular topic. It's the fact that it's a bit sensitive if you look at that religious element in it. You know, sometimes if you're passing comments or you're making comments with regards to what other people think or the international society think, and you look at some religions and what they also believe, then it means that when passing these comments, you have to exercise great care. Yes, so that is with this particular. But of course, Dr. Mazouk is no stranger to such topics, and I am pretty much confident that it's going to make justice, going to do justice to the topic as best as he can.
Good morning to the cherished viewers of OSF. Thanks for the opportunity to be here once again. Thanks for the complimentary words. And a special good morning to the Wonochima of Yana, of Yona, of Menglana. Let me say a special good morning to a very important, revered brother of mine. Even though he's an elderly person, and of course an elder brother of mine, in reality he's also my small boy. He's Alhaji Tola Abindogu of Tamale. He has played a very critical role in my educational and moral development. So I owe him a lot. Special good morning to you, Alhaj, and my beautiful wife, Ajia Sadia.
Hey, good morning, Ajia.
Even though she told me she rejected me. She rejected me because I didn't accompany her to Dubai 2 weeks ago. Don't worry, we'll go to Mecca together.
Exactly.
As we did. In fact, we did about 15 years ago.
Oh, that's a long time.
She and I did, yes. We did go to Mecca.
But she wanted to go to Dubai with you.
Yes.
She said, no, you had other engagement. You had equally important engagement. So.
Academic engagement.
Exactly, which is also very important.
And journalistic engagement.
Exactly.
Pan Africa.
I'm sure if you had gone, you wouldn't even be here this morning.
You see?
I get it.
Yes. As you said, this is a very controversial topic.
Yeah.
But you agree with me that it raises two elements. One, the dignity of women, and two, the fairness of Islam in relation to the dignity of women. And even though I am not an Islamic scholar, I remain a student of Islam. And with your permission, I'll try as much as possible to do the analysis within the context of the Holy Quran and the international law. So clearly, I do not understand the portion of Sharia being referred to by the Libyan authorities. But if it is the Quran, if it is the Islamic religion, my brother, take it from me and take it from any serious Islamic scholar. There is nothing like gender inequality in Islam. In other words, gender equality is a critical component of Islam. Take it from me. Gender equality is a critical component of Islam. There may be certain cultures that are by nature patriarchal. And if those cultures are imported to Islam, we should be able to understand and then make the difference. The difference between a cultural position and the Islamic position on gender equality. The Quran is the supreme law of Muslims. That is the constitution of Muslims. You go to the whole Quran and you have a complete chapter on women. It's known as Surah An-Nisa. A complete chapter on women. In this chapter, there is a verse that men and women are both creatures of Almighty Allah, and they are the same in terms of right, in terms of liberty, in terms of anything that is made to enhance the quality of humanity. So, my brother, I just want, and I'm happy you've given me the floor. You see, so you agree with me that the genesis of humanity, the genesis of society, or the genesis of procreation is marriage. So the Islamic concept of equality starts from the marriage. Gender equality, the Islamic concept of gender equality starts from the marriage. The Quran says, "Hunna libasun lakum wa antum libasun lahun." From marriage. The women or your wives are a garment unto you. In other words, they constitute comfort to you. And you also constitute comfort to them. Look at the wedding. Even though you don't understand Arabic, look at the wedding. And I want to tell you that even by structure and by semantics, in other words, by grammatical structure and by semantic analysis, the verse talks about gender equality. Look, I want you to observe something. Hunna, libasun, lakum. 3 words, right? Then, antum, libasun, lahunna. They are a garment unto you. They constitute comfort to you. And you also constitute comfort to them. And then, you know, in grammar, when you want to coordinate 2 independent sentences of equal weight, you use coordinative conjunction, right? But if the sentences, the 2 sentences are not equal, then you don't use coordinative sentence. You use subordinative conjunction, right? So look, and you agree with me that and is a coordinative conjunction. So you are a garment to them, and they are a garment to you. Remove the end, that coordinative conjunction, and each of the sentences can stand. You are a garment to them. They are a garment to you. So the coordinative conjunction, even in English grammatical principles, the coordinative conjunction is coordinating 2 sentences of equal weight. So just as the sentences of equal weight are coordinated by the coordinative conjunction, so the rights of men and women are equal in terms of enjoyment. Then it goes. The Quran mentions possibility of confusion and perhaps divorce, and there is the reconciliation. When it comes there, it says, "In yurida islahan." If the 2 of them want, if there is any confusion and the 2 of them are interested in reconciliation, the verse is, "In yurida islahan," the 2 of them. So even in marriage, it is not just a matter of one gender controlling that marriage. In yurida islahan yuwaffiq Allahu baynahuma. If the 2 of them are still interested in reconciliation, Almighty is capable of giving them that chance of reconciliation, Almighty Allah. So from the beginning of the relationship to the end of it, there is a sense of gender equality. Then let's leave that. Islamic position on knowledge is second to none. Islam regards knowledge as the source of every prosperity, every form of prosperity. Then when Prophet Muhammad talks about knowledge, in fact, he's quoted to have said that طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة. That seeking knowledge or education is important for the male Muslim and the female Muslim. So the male Muslim and the female Muslim have equal gender rights to education. You agree with me on that? There are instances, so many verses of the Holy Quran emphasizing the need for us to observe gender equality in everything. There is one verse that talks about men's strength over women, but that is not about rights, it's about responsible leadership. So that verse is الرجال قوامون على النساء. Men are stronger than women, but men are stronger than women. Not the strength used here is not the Azuma Neslic strength in the boxing range. No. The strength used here is about responsible leadership. It is the case in Islam that the man must provide shelter, food, protection, everything. So these are the sources of strength mentioned in the whole Quran. It's not about rights. And even look, agree with me. I mean, the president is the leader of this country. But when it comes to constitutional rights, the president and you are entitled to the same constitutional right. So we should do away with privileges in relation to positions and rights as members of certain genders. So if you do proper analysis, you come to the conclusion that Islam recognizes gender equality. And in marriage, Islamic position of gender equality is not like the Western, it's not like the one based on Western civilization, which is devoid of leadership. Islamic concept of gender equality is beautified by responsible leadership. And that leadership is a responsibility placed on the man. And it is the case that in Islam, leadership is not a kind of comfort for enjoyment. It is rather a responsibility for discharging. It is to discharge a responsibility. So clearly, from the Islamic point of view, and based on responsible analysis, gender equality is accepted. I do not understand what principle of the Sharia they are talking about. I also don't know the law. I don't know how the law may have certain things. Perhaps the law that they are talking about may also be designed in such a way that it undermines men. Perhaps if that is the case, then of course we can understand them. But then in reality, when it comes to the right between the man and the woman, gender equality, gender right, gender equality, in fact, Islam is not against gender equality. Sometimes Islam proposes gender equity. In fact, Islam encourages gender equity instead of gender equality. Gender equity in the sense that sometimes when equality does not answer a question, equity does.
Yeah.
You understand that? And some of the Islamic scholars are of the view that Islam emphasizes gender equity than gender equality. Let me give you a classic example. When it comes to inheritance, we have a formula that is not palatable to the gender activists. Man, 2:1. Man is entitled to 2, and woman is entitled to 1. You understand that? You know why? Over there, it is not a matter of equality. It is a matter of equity. Because the same principle puts a responsibility on the man to take a share, and the woman to take and keep. You are my sister, right? And you are supposed to get 1. I'm supposed to get 2 out of my father's property, our father's property. What I take, you still have a share. It is my responsibility to share with you again. And yours is to keep. You understand that? Yeah, so it is a matter of equity. Is it not better than equality in this sense?
Yeah, it is.
Right. So in effect, it is not the case that gender equality is against Sharia. Perhaps that particular portion or that particular act of the law is against Sharia, but not gender equality. So gender equality is a cardinal principle of Islam, and Islam does not view a woman as the caricature of the matrimonial bed, of the microwave, of the sink. No, it's not. Islam respects the woman. Islam understands that there is the need for gender equality. Islam is clear on gender equality and gender equity, and it is only a matter of responsible leadership. As for that responsible leadership, definitely it is placed on the man, and that responsible leadership should not be misconstrued as a source of power to undermine or to even deny the right of the woman, because there is no society without responsible leadership. Any society without responsible leadership is bound to go deeper into the gutters of animal kingdom. And let me give you an example. When rights are open-ended, they create chaos, and that is why even in constitutional governance, rights are not absolute. Rights have their limitations. Gender equality is a cardinal principle of Islam, and no one can hide behind anything to paint Islam black in the area of gender equality. Let it be understood that laws are designed according to the cultures, according to the aspirations of the people. You and I are not privy to the content of the law, but when it comes to the overall gender equality, it is an integral part of Islam, and Islam will continue to respect women. Let me take this opportunity to commend all women.
I actually wanted to come to that. I wanted to link, from there. Then we do the fact that yesterday was International Women's Day, and the First Lady she's admonishing women to stand up, to be counted. A call, if you ask me, is a call that is in the right direction. Women have come a long way.
Yeah.
We've come a long way with regards to, women have come a long way with regards to the fact that a few decades ago, or let me say probably a century ago, women were not even allowed the right to exercise their franchise. Women were not even allowed to vote.
Yes.
In certain parts of the world, women were not even allowed to drive. Until recently, in some parts of the world,
yes,
women are not even allowed to drive.
Yes.
Women are not allowed to go to the stadium to go watch football matches.
Yes.
So it's been a long walk to their current, should I say, position in society. And look, take it or leave it. The role that women play with regards to our society is one that cannot be overstated. It is obvious that you take a woman out, well, Charlie, we can't do without them. I was saying earlier on the show, some, especially our mothers, they wake up at as early as 3:30, 4 a.m., have to see to the kids, make sure that they are, ready for school. These same women would have to go to the market very early and go sell there until around 4 5 p.m. They close, come back home, then come prepare meals for the family as well. Then like the cycle repeats itself every day, continuous like that. So, and if you look at the fact that now the modern woman is one who is breaking barriers and ensuring that he gets to the very she gets to the very apogee of success that men would also want to be. Women are equally doing it. Yeah. So I'd come to you, but I don't know, I'm very passionate about women. Yes. Yeah, so happy good. International Women's Day, belated one, of course, to all you wonderful women. I wouldn't single out anybody, Charlie. You people are wonderful, and continue keeping us alive, because Charlie, without you we cannot be. Raji Mazuka.
Yes, I join you in expressing my commendation to the women on the occasion of the International Women's Day. But let that also, the international community should also try as much as possible to understand that once it is equality, we must have the Men Day, International.
I think there is.
Yeah, I know.
But coincidentally, that day is also the World Toilet Day.
Exactly. I was coming there. You see, we must have is the International Men Day that does not coincide with any the indicative of death. You see, so I think you are right, and what we need to do is to redefine patriarchy. But we need to redefine patriarchy. Patriarchy is not necessarily bad. I'm a Dagomba. And in the Dagbang tradition, but patriarchy is not bad. That men must be in leadership. It's not bad. You know why? Patriarchy, in its responsible sense, is protective rather than suppressive. So patriarchy becomes bad if it becomes suppressive.
Yeah.
Men suppressing women just because the men are in position of leadership. No, that is where patriarchy is wrong. But if patriarchy is designed and seen as protective, that men are strong enough to protect women and to encourage them to become partners in service to humanity, that's where we can get the right definition of patriarchy. So I strongly want to believe that patriarchy has been misconstrued largely by men, right? And let all of us men come together, redefine the word, and accept it as protective, even when we are given the position to lead in the house, right? We shouldn't turn the houses to semi-scenes of military junta. Let the houses reflect principles of democracy, where the man and the woman can talk and decide issues freely, right? So it is a matter of understanding that patriarchy is not suppressive. But the moment we understand that, let the women also understand that we have a culture to protect. Sometimes some of the gender activists speak as if we must import everything from the Western civilization to Africa. That is unacceptable. That is very unacceptable. I'm a Dagomba, and I will do everything to protect and to defend the Dagbang tradition in relation to the man and woman affairs. However, I will also rise in defense of women in the context of the Dagbang kingdom, in the context of the Dagbang tradition. I'm a Ghanaian, and I will not allow any Western culture to undermine my understanding of the man-woman relationship. What I know is that even if I am a man and I'm supposed to be the leader of the house, then I should be the servant of the house. And it is said in Arabic that Ra'isul Qawm Khadimuhum, the leader of the people is their servant. So leadership is service. Leadership should be seen, leadership in matrimonial homes should be seen as service imposed on the man to ensure that the woman and the children are free from any maltreatment. That is the proper definition and application of patriarchy. But if you take patriarchy as something that you should use to suppress women, suppress children, and you know, sometimes your relationship with your wife will lead to the timidity of the children.
That's true.
Yes. And if the way you relate to your wife, disgracing her in front of the children, whatever, the children are even not happy. At the end of the day, you are producing timid souls. And that is not right. So let's get the difference. Sometimes some of these gender activists speak as if even within the context of African culture, we don't have gender equality. We do. It is only that people do not understand, and it is up to us to let them understand that even African culture does not undermine woman. African culture, there are adages that if you want something from a man, then you convince the woman, convince his wife. This is to tell you that the woman is dignified, even within the context of African culture. I will oppose any gender view that is coming from purely the Western civilization and undermining African tradition. That one I will oppose because I am a proud African, and that is why I speak freely on Pan-African TV, right?
That's true.
And therefore, it is for us to understand. Sometimes, most of these stories are mere anthropological fiction designed to undermine African culture. So, let it be clearly stated that African culture respects the dignity of woman. It is only some African men who do not want to accept that reality. Time has come for these people to understand the dignity of woman and to respect the woman as a creature of Almighty Allah.
Right. Thank you so much, Comrade Mazouk, for that very insightful commentary on International Women's Day, rights of women, and how men can assist women in reaching their goals. I think we can both assist each other.
Sure, it's equality.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes, if the moment you say gender, then people think is gender right. People think is women's right, and I think that is also a misnomer, because gender right cannot be women right. Gender is made up of the male and the female. At least the natural gender we know, right? As for the artificial gender, the homosexuals and whatever, that those things are secondary. But the natural one that we know are the male and the female. So when we are talking about gender, we should also be balanced in our discussion. We should be addressing the two forms of gender, the man and the woman. But then, the moment you talk about gender, people think that you should rather be talking about women, right? Perhaps it's because of the wrong application of patriarchy in our society. And we shouldn't blame Africa. We shouldn't blame African culture. We should blame ourselves. And of course, contemporary reality has taught us a lesson for us to understand that African culture does not undermine a woman. And it is up to all of us to understand that the woman and the man should be seen as equal partners in service to Almighty Allah, in service to humanity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mazouk. On that note, let me do a few Facebook messages. Abdul Basit says, good morning, Chief Kennedy can come. All right. He said, World Bank director is wrong and our economy is not in crisis. I will always support gender and development and make Ghana the best for all of us. Ghanaian students from Ukraine, Akwaba. Happy International Women's Day. Okay, thank you so much. And Raymond, okay. Right. Conscious Agbemanu also says, good morning, Pan African TV. I'm watching you live from La Paz, Abekambu. Greetings to my favorite man in the studio, Dr. Mazouk. And Stephen Boache says, good morning to you, dear host. Stephen inside Wasai Krupon. Okay. It says, Honorable Dr. Usu Akoto is good in the subject area. He has always demonstrated competence, hence on point always. I salute him this morning wherever he is. Thank you so much. And Raymond Abil says, while the obnoxious e-levy has become the only silver bullet for the survival of Akufo-Addo's economy, I dare ask the finance minister why his budget since 2017 have been silent on the revenue accrued to the state from the mining sector. Ken Ofori-Atta must stop the stonewalling and opaque dealings and be transparent in all transactions of government until this administration comes to the realization that democracy can only thrive on accountability and transparency. Ghana cannot move forward, and the passage of the most talked about e-levy will only remain in a pipe dream. Okay, thank you so much. Right, so these are a few of your messages. Let's go for a short breather. When we return, we'll be talking about Ghana's economy, specifically the World Bank director. He is saying that the economy is in crisis. We also tackle the situation where bullion van corp robbers have been exposed. We'll be back shortly.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
Welcome back from that short breather. Still watching the newspaper review segment of Good Morning Africa live from our studios here at number 48 Swanica Street in Abelemkpe. We are streaming live across some 46 other African countries via satellite and across the world at www.facebook.com/Pan-African Television. I still have Dr. Mazouk here in the studios with me. We'll be talking about Ghana's economy and no other person than the World Bank country director to Ghana. He goes by the name Pierre Laporte. He's saying that Ghana's economy is in crisis, and what is more shocking about his statement is the fact that, look, he's saying that it is not only now, because if you before COVID, he's saying that, of course, yes, COVID has had its ramifications, but Ghana's economy before COVID-19 looked as though it was wobbly. It was wobbly, so we shouldn't put all the blame on COVID. He said we should be very transparent to the people of Ghana. He said we should be transparent to Ghanaians. He was saying that our debt to GDP is 80%. He said he has crossed the 80% line. So government should be very transparent to Ghanaians and tell us the truth. And I think that every Dictum and Harry in Ghana feels the repercussions, Charlie. We feel the impact in our pockets. Like I was stating earlier, it's been a while I bought a bar of soap, and I've been using the liquid one. I've been using the liquid soap. So I think it was 3 days ago that I ran out. I decided to go get a bar of soap. Which I bought at 3 Ghana cedi 50 pesos. Geisha for that last year. 3 cedis 50 pesos is now 6 cedis 50 pesos. That's over about 90% increment. That's way too much, Ali. Way too much. And we see that in the kinky. We buy the bread, the loaves of bread. I buy at Wija Junction, and everybody who buys bread at Wija Junction would attest to this. Last year, bread at Wija Junction was 8 Ghana cedis. 8 cedis. There's been a 50% increment in the price. Now it's 12 Ghana cedi when you go to Wija. You want to buy bread. That bread they sell at Wija Junction. Yes. Now it's 12 cedis. From 8 Ghana cedis to not to 9, not to 10, 12. So we feel it, Charlie. We feel the impact in our pockets. Dr. Mazouk, the World Bank country director, is saying that the economy is in crisis, Charlie, and we shouldn't put the blame on COVID. Yes. Because before COVID, it looks as though things were shaking in its words, Charlie. It looked as though that the future was bleak, and so we shouldn't put the blame on COVID. And we know what's happening now with regards to Ghana's economy. If you are aware, the president has traveled to Dubai, and this time around he decided to do away with the private jets, and he flew commercial. He decided to fly commercial. Yes. No business, no whatever. He flew commercial to Dubai. So one person who has been on his toes, on the heels of the president about his travels, is the North Tongue legislator, Honorable Sam Okujeto Ablakwa. He has been chiding him whenever he travels abroad. Comes out with the figures, $14,000 per hour, shower in the sky, and blah 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 blah. So now he has applauded the president for taking that decision and said, look, and Dr. Mazouk, we've saved 3.3 million Ghana cedi. Yes, for the president deciding that, look, this time around I'm not going with a private jet, I'm flying commercial. We have saved 3.3 million Ghana cedi,
which can build a secondary school.
It can. It can. Dr. Mazouk.
Yes. Okay. So I first of all, let me commend the president for heeding public cry. We don't say heat too.
Yeah.
We heat. Yes. For heeding public cry, public outcry, and I think just as some of us were disturbed, but that he was using our money irresponsibly, so we should commend him for listening to public opinion, and is good that way. I'm only appealing to him to continue.
Some people are saying that he's doing it so that people don't pass the E-levy. once the A-levy is passed, you revert you revert to his old ways.
Well, those are their comments. I respect my president and I trust him. I trust him.
Yeah,
He's a man of action.
we have to trust him.
Yeah, I trust him. He's a man of action. So, Your Excellency, I am appealing to you. Just remain where you are now. Fly commercial. Let's show modesty. Exactly. Yes, let's show sympathy with the public, with the suffering masses, and by the grace of Almighty Allah, and with our collective sense, we'll be able to overcome the challenges. The World Bank director, right?
Yes.
Is speaking. You know, this is shocking.
Yeah.
Yes, for that diplomat or expatriate or such a figure in our country to speak is something that we have to think about. But that also tells us how free our society is.
Of course.
Yes. So even though the news is bad, yet we have something to celebrate from that news. It tells us that we have a very free society where everybody can criticize, even the expatriate can criticize the government or any aspect of our economy, and that is good. You know what? I am not an economist, and I've always said that, right? As a lecturer, I should be the first person to understand my limits in knowledge. And you know, the knowledge community is so large that if you want to survive, then you must go by the principle of I know this, I do not know this. You see, so I am not an economist. But then whatever the economists do or the economic managers do should be seen to be reflecting in our life, right? So my comment is based on my own experience in the Ghanaian economy. This is not to say that the government is not doing well. I believe the government is doing its best, but the best that the government is doing is yet to be felt by majority of people, because it is not only Marzouk who complains or who is feeling the heat. I think you and other people are also feeling it.
It's not only Marzouk who is going on strike to demand higher remuneration.
Don't go there. Don't go there. We have come back to the classroom. We are back to the classroom for serious academic business.
I'll beat shortly. I'll beat shortly.
So we are now working on the chemistry with the president.
Exactly.
And whatever has taken place is now history.
Okay,
so
let's hope so. We hope so.
So you see, last week, if you remember, I made a statement that the government should be transparent and honest with Ghanaians.
Yeah.
It is not a problem at all if you do your best and the result becomes worse. It's not a problem. It's part of humanity. It's part of human life, right? My brother, you can do your best and the result may not be the best. The result may be the worst. Let people understand the situation and they will sympathize with you. But if you are dishonest, if you do not want to tell the people the reality on the ground, and those people will feel it, if what you say is different from what they feel, definitely they will have reasons to complain. But our complaint is not to those coup-mongers. That's what those coup-mongers, we should all rise against them.
Sure.
Yes, we will complain, but no coup. If we want to do anything at all, the Constitution has given us the right to use civil means, protest, civil disobedience, civil protest. Yes, demonstrations, we will do that. Who know? We want constitutional order. So the problem is the problem that I have, whilst I sympathize with the regime, I have a problem with it. And the problem is simply that it is not telling us the truth of the matter. Why should the regime wait for the World Bank director who knows much, because this director should know much about the Ghanaian economy, to tell Ghanaians how the economy is? I don't think that is true. But then that is his opinion. If the regime knows that whatever the man is saying is wrong, then we need their version so that we'll be able to compare within the context of our own feeling of the economy. And so we know whether they are telling the truth or the World Bank director is telling the truth. But then, sometimes too, some of these expatriates can also sound hypocritical. What prevented him from telling us that the economy was bad? When he knew it was wobbling, what prevented him from telling us? Why now? You see, so sometimes it's hypocritical.
No, but actually, he says that there's a paragraph I'd actually want to read, which to some extent I believe answers that question. It says, at the World Bank, we've not hidden the fact when we've held discussions with government officials and even the head of state that Ghana faces a very tough road ahead to restore macro sustainability. In his view, although COVID-19 takes some of the blame for the current situation, the signs were on the wall way before the pandemic started. He noted that at the World Bank, even though COVID-19 has not helped Ghana's economic standing, the situation started getting bad before the pandemic hit. Yes, COVID-19 has not helped, but even before COVID-19, there were signs that the situation was getting a little bit challenging, he noted. So the key thing is to be transparent with the people, he advised.
I used the word, I used the same word, transparent. And I even said, you say, when you, I think I was doing it in comparison with the stand of the opposition. I said I was appealing to the opposition to sympathize with the regime, right? But then I advised the regime to also be transparent. If you need the sympathy of the opposition, then you have to be transparent. Whilst you want the opposition to cooperate with you to manage the economy very well, then you go about telling people that, oh, everything is okay, everything is okay, everything is good. We have the best people, we have the men, we have the women. Definitely, people will I mean, that cooperation will not come. So the main problem here is transparency. And you know, there are so many things that the government can do to justify what is happening. You see, the ambitious free SHS program, which is right. I will not oppose it. As a lecturer, I will never oppose it. I don't have the grounds to oppose it. But it should have been done in a manner that will not create other problems. You understand that? So there are so many things. Let us know. If you use the money for infrastructural development, let us know. And we have eyes to see. We can quantify, right? We can go and check. This reminds me of a regime. I think that was NDC regime also, which came out with some, I don't know whether NDC or MPP, some documents talking about certain infrastructural projects that never existed. And they were, it was Mahama regime.
I think both of them. It's actually both of, I think the Green Book, it was the Green Book, and then the MPP too. I think somewhere last year, also, I think in the election year, they brought out a list of certain projects they had,
Exactly, yes. It was my brother, Dr. Bawumia, His Excellency, Vice President.
Dr. Bawumia,
yes. Dr. Bawumia also did the same. So His Excellency, President Mohammed's regime also did the same thing, the Green Book.
So we went to check. They were non-existent.
No, non-existent. So you see how politicians can be, right? So I'm appealing to, currently we are dealing with MPP, so I'm appealing to the MPP government to ensure that there is transparency in the governance of this nation, and particularly in the management of the economy. People are bound to understand. We have all witnessed how COVID-19 has devastated the economies of even superpowers. We've all seen that. But even to hide behind COVID-19 is something debatable. You know, largely our COVID-19 has been sponsored. Yes, largely. The COVID-19 95% has been sponsored. So where is the effect? Right? And it was even pride for all of us. But then the regime took it as an achievement. How it was able to get money from institutions, from countries, right? Sympathy. So, we want that. Even though ours is self-reliance. So COVID-19 cannot be the cause, right? So let the regime tell us the truth of the matter. I am not saying that it is underperforming, but I think it is now a reality that we have a problem. We need to know, we are Ghanaians, we need to know what the problem is, the extent of the problem, and how we can cooperate with the regime to solve that problem, whether we like it or not. And let Ghanaians understand, the best we can do is to do our part in the management of the economy. But we cannot do that if we don't know the problem. You see, whether we like it or not, Ghana belongs to us. Ghana does not belong to the ruling MPP. It belongs to us, and we have the right to talk. We have the right to talk. We have the responsibility to also contribute to the economy of this country and to the development of this country. The regime must uphold the principle of honesty, and the masses should also sympathize with and cooperate with the government so that together we will have economic prosperity.
Right, thank you so much. Yes, so to the president, decided to fly fly commercial to Dubai. Nothing happened to you.
And it's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
I'm so much happy to hear that.
Nothing happened, Charlie. We just need to cut down on this. Yeah.
This is the real time of austerity.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this is the real time of austerity.
Exactly.
Yes. And so we need to, and you know, we are yet to witness. I don't want to paint a gloomy picture, but the signs are clear. The Russian-Ukraine war will have its own effect on us. There are so many things in the global community that will have their own toll on us. So if we do not know what we can do to help the government to solve the economic problems, definitely we should prepare for the West in future. Allah, may Allah forbid. But the way I see the picture, it's not encouraging at all. Yes.
But like you said, this is the time for austerity.
Yes.
Let me quote the words of one of our panelists. He comes here on Friday. He's the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Sagnaregu constituency, Honorable ABF. We say he has quite a number of proverbs in his portmanteau. And he says, you know, he often says that, look, it's like you are in a family, okay? You are the head of the family. You are the father. You come and say, okay, right now things are hard, times are hard. So the usual fufu with live soup and chicken that we eat, the usual fried rice and chicken that we eat at home, the usual banku with okra stew and whatever, the usual tuzafi, we can't eat it now, so we have to be eating gari. So you, the father of the house, you give your wife gari to eat, you give your children gari to eat, then you go and buy fried rice and chicken and buy fufu and goat meat and eat. Then how would they see you? So it is in these times that you need to exhibit leadership.
Yes.
So the president needs to exhibit leadership in these times. At least he should let us also see that he feels what we feel equally. You can't be enjoying in private jets.
Whilst others he is in a state of jollity and jacundity.
Yes.
Whilst others are in the pit of poverty and misery.
That's true. That's true.
Jollity and jacundity.
Jacundity, yes.
Against poverty and misery.
Yes. He's on cloud 9.
Yes.
He's in the 7th heaven.
But I admire him. He's a very action man. And of course, he's a source of pride to us when he takes the mic on the international scene. And I think those rhetorical powers should be translated into actionable things in Ghana so that we all enjoy. We have confidence in him, and we believe that together, if we come together, if we put politics aside, we do away with politics, partisan politics, and actually uphold the principle of governance, then we can do a lot for Ghana.
Yeah.
We have the resources. All is not lost. Yeah. Let the government and the opposition come together to serve the Ghanaian. Yes, ours is politics and governance. Let's de-emphasize, let's minimize politics and emphasize government. Maximize governance. So it is up to the government, but then that can only be done when the government is honest. When the government can tell us the true state of the economy, and then we'll also be able to know what we can do to contribute to the development of our country.
Exactly, exactly. I'm sure the president is perhaps even if he's not watching, I'm sure there's somebody watching who can
Tell the president.
Yes, who can share this information with him.
He's our father.
Yeah,
he's our father. He's,
exactly.
By age, he's our grandfather.
Exactly.
Yes,
70,
and by status,
I think he's 76 or 77.
Yes, yes. And by political status, he's the father of the nation.
Yeah.
So we need him. And these words that we are echoing are not to please anybody.
Yeah.
They are to enhance the economic fortunes of the Republic of Ghana. It is our responsibility, a patriotic duty indeed, for us to talk and for us to know what we can do to help the government succeed.
All right. Yeah. Right. Let's go for another very quick break. When we come, we'll tackle the bullion van issue.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
Welcome back. You're still watching the newspaper review segment of Good Morning Africa, live from our studios here at number 48 Monica Street. And you saw that particular advert. Yes, Trasacco Springs. If you're a young man, you want to have your own accommodation, you want your own house. Don't let the name Trasacco scare you. Don't let it scare you, Charlie. Don't let it scare you. Approach them, tell them your plans. They have lands for sale and at very affordable rates. Yes, affordable, very affordable. Like I earlier intimated, don't let the name Trasacco scare you. People have made Trasacco look like, you know, a place which is an exclusive reserve of the bourgeoisies in society, but that is not the case. You can contact them and then they'll do a payment plan for you with regards to how you pay for the piece of land. And Charlie, seriously, when you go to these places, they already have they already have light, water, the roads are already constructed and everything. So this is a community which is for all group of people, right? So there you have it. Make sure you call Trasacco and make sure you get that accommodation for yourself. Right. Let's tackle what will be our fourth and final topic. Last year, we recorded quite a number of bullion van attacks. I think from January to December, we recorded about 4 or 5 of them. You'd hear that a bullion van is chauffeuring. I believe I got the grammatical word right. Chauffeuring, cash to a bank or somewhere else, and you realize that you hear that they've been attacked by robbers. Very much to our utter dismay, some persons behind, it even hurts me saying this, like, because your fellow policeman, you look him in the face and shoot him because of some money you want to go and steal. It's depressing, seriously, very, very depressing. So some persons have been nabbed by the police. Is it right to say
Yeah.
nabbed? They've been nabbed
Yeah.
by the Ghana Police Service.
That's true.
And these people, as policemen themselves, I have been nabbed in connection with regards to these particular attacks. This is to some extent, in my estimation, a dent on the hard-earned reputation of the Ghana Police Service. Perhaps you wouldn't, some of you may not agree with the hard-earned, but I believe we would all agree that in recent times, policing in Ghana has seen quite an uplift. It has seen it has seen quite an uplift ever since George Ekufu Dampare, the Inspector General of Police, he took over the reins. And I think investigating to come out with this revelation as well to also bodes well for the Ghana Police Service. At least they've also demonstrated that even when it's persons who are in the service, they still would deal with them. And this reminds me, in 2020, in September of 2020, there was this guy I attended school with. I wouldn't mention his name. He was a policeman, and he was involved in something of this sort. Not a bullion van, but he was. I think he was actually at the Ghana Police headquarters, working so hard. He was. I think he joined the police service in 2012, as far back as 2012, after we had just completed SHS in 2011. He joined in 2012, and in 2020, September of 2020, around Tessano in the evening, one man was driving a one Nissan car like that, and this guy ambushed him.
Your own mate.
Yes, I was in the same dormitory with him.
With him.
Yes, ambushed him, snatched the car from the guy, and it didn't end there. He killed him.
Oh.
He killed the man. For what? He took the car to the central region of Ghana, decided to sell it. The police had picked intelligence that he was going to do something like that over there. So I think the Central Regional Police Unit, they feigned, one of the inspectors feigned interest in buying. Yes, in buying the car, and you wouldn't believe the price they agreed on to buy a Nissan Versa for 8,000 Ghana cedi. For 8,000 Ghana cedi. A policeman, Lance Corporal. I don't even want to mention his name seriously, because
Is he still alive?
oh, he's in. I think he's in someone by this time. Of course, you can't do this thing.
Yeah.
You can't and then go scot free with
Yeah.
it. So that is the some persons, some elements who are in the police service. This is what they entered the service with. And I have my personal comment on that particular guy. For somebody I schooled with,
Yeah.
it means I know very much. I wouldn't go into the details, but the police service in general, it appears as though there are some elements, and of course, it is not a surprise, even for the clergy,
Yes.
which is so much revered, an institution that we see or we find sacrosanct. We expect people of high moral standards to be there. I think there are one or two persons who exhibit traits that are inimical to the norms of such institutions. So for the police service, I think they also suffer quite a degree of that. And I want to ask you, Dr. Mazuk, is it that the kind of processes that we go through, or these men go through for recruitment, should be rechecked?
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. Yes. Your question is yes. I mean, your question, the answer to your question is yes. It should be rechecked. Yes. But before that, let me re-echo your words. You've talked about the positivity and negativity of what we are witnessing. Right. So I think this story presents an amalgamated picture of the worst and the best in the police service. The worst because an a police officer taking a gun and killing fellow police officer allegedly. In fact, that is the worst we can think about.
Yeah.
Look, if for nothing, the professional solidarity should have been enough to prevent those people from killing their colleagues. The best in the sense that it's the same police institution that has established and even shared with the public what their own men have done. So yes, it's bad, but we still have future. And that tells us more about the current police leadership. Dr. Dampre has proven to the whole world that he stands for state policing rather than regime policing. And that is exactly why these things are being exposed. So Dr. Dampre wants all of us to cooperate with him. I was telling you about honesty and sharing with us the state of the reality of the economy. All right? You know, Dr. Dampre and his lieutenants, his assistants, have been able to share with us what is happening in the police service. And I like his approach. Any development is updated. I mean, we are updated on any development in the conduct of the police service. That is very good. And I think we should all help him to succeed. You know, when you consider, in fact, when you were talking about it as part of your opening statement, I just figured out, and I thought I have been vindicated. I knew you would raise a question about the manner of recruitment. Yes, and you are right. And that tells me how good you are in terms of hosting. Yes.
Thank you so
much. I anticipated that question. You know, because we cannot discuss this issue without getting to the genesis of the recruitment. You and I know that largely recruitments in this country, in police, in fire service, in the military, right, are largely influenced by political connections. Political patronage.
That's true.
Political patronage. Criminals, hardened criminals, in service to politicians, get the opportunity to be recruited into these responsible security agencies. They go there, and because they have their political godfathers, they misbehave and even find measures of mastering their criminal skills. Because they are also protected by the uniform, they carry out the mastery, and in the end, innocent people becomes victims. That's number one. Number two, that kind of bigmanism in public life. You know, there are some people who are not politicians, but who control the politicians.
Yeah.
The money backs those who sponsor the politicians. They are not politicians themselves, but they control the politicians. So they also have criminals, criminal gangs. The money backs, they have criminal gangs. And when they want, they just push these criminal gangsters to the police service. That is also one. Two, let's understand that the police service goes beyond mere academic qualification. It also has to do with moral qualification. The police service should be meant for those who are morally sound, physically capable, and academically efficient. If the recruitment is taking consideration, taking all these into consideration, definitely we will not have criminals in the service that is meant to protect the lives of the people. So the manner of the recruitment must be reviewed. And the review is simple. Let politicians and money backs and influencers in society controlling criminals do away with the police recruitment. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to also ask, the recruitment is one of it. Right now, even if you want to get into these state security institutions, the police, the military, the
Fire,
fire service, the prisons, customs,
yeah, immigration.
this.
Yes.
Dr. Mazouk, if you don't have 15,000, 10,000 cities,
Mm.
and I'm saying this, I'm saying this
So they are bought.
emphatically, that most people, they call it protocol. They call it protocol. So if you know somebody, all you need to do, if you know some big man, be some member of parliament, some MPB, and some big man, be all you need to do is to just call them and pay some amount of money, and you just go through. There are many things they check when you want to even go to these security service institutions. Your height, you need to be of a particular. I remember a friend of mine actually went, and he was disqualified based on his height. It will interest you to know that somebody even shorter than him
Was taken.
yes, was taken at his at his expense. So it was a perfect submission you made, that politicians should take their hands off these institutions, the police, whatever. Look at the recruitment exercise that took place last year across the country. The long queues of people.
Yes.
It will interest you to know that the queue of people who went, about only 5 of them will be taken. If, for instance, they need like 500 people, only about 5-10 people will be taken from that queue. The rest, they are people who already have the slots there. They'll just walk into the service just like that, because they've paid some money. So that is the situation. So with that, and with regards to, I don't know, we should also be thinking about they making background checks. They say they do that. As to whether or not
They don't do.
whether they make these background checks of the people they are recruiting into
Yeah.
the service, because Charlie, to be a policeman, you need to be of a certain moral standard.
Yeah.
You need to be of a certain moral standard in society. Once you do not meet these criteria, then it means that you can't make it into the service. But that is what we've seen. But like you said, I personally believe that it is a feather in the cap of the Ghana Police Service for them to have conducted this investigation and brought the facts to bear that it may be some of these people, their own people, who are behind this particular criminal act. I would want to ask you that what are some suggestive measures that you think should be put in place with regards to, especially with the bullion vans? Somebody was saying that I saw a particular comment that when you go to some other countries in the world, I don't know whether or not if that is true, and I know you're a well-traveled person, you're a globetrotter, so I think it's right that I ask
International trotter.
exactly that when you go to some parts of the world, these bullion vans, though they are very protected, you wouldn't hear sirens blaring for everybody to even know that this is a bullion van, this is a car carrying money. I don't know whether that is true.
That is a fact.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a fact. And this siren following bullion van and whatever, I think that is old-fashioned. It's old-fashioned. It should be discarded. It is a fact.
It's a fact.
Yes. In fact, largely in let me say in New York and in other big cities in Europe and America, mostly if you hear sirens, it's either the ambulance or fire, right? Even presidential or minister going with no, it's not heard of. So it is a fact. Yes. And of course, you see, beyond the bullion, I think the bullion vans should also have a particular, because I once heard that the IGP also complained. Was it the IGP or one of, let's just say police service complained about the substandard.
Yeah.
The substandard nature of the vans.
Yes.
Yeah, the vans are not even up to standard.
Yeah.
So why don't we use the standard vans?
They're not even bulletproof.
They are not bulletproof. Why don't we use the bulletproof ones? Then number two, I think the police service should also have a particular unit, trusted members to handle that, those, because we are talking about money. Money in an economy described by the UN director as wobbling.
Yeah.
You understand that? So money can influence anything. So I believe the police service has the capacity to institute a special unit or a special desk to handle the vans. Because if those those people are well trained beyond the police, beyond the handling of weapons, to morality, to secrecy, because this operation couldn't have been done without leaking some secret information.
Yeah.
You see, so but then if they are made to understand that they are acting in conditions of secrecy, definitely they will not behave that way. But you need those who are morally sound, those who are religious. When I say religious, I'm not referring to Islam or Christianity. Those who are God-fearing, pious enough to handle the money, to handle the vans. You understand that? But then you can have those people when you know very well that largely the personnel themselves are just coming from the hands of some money bags or some irresponsible politicians. And that is exactly what we are talking about. I think the manner of recruitment should be looked at. And then we should also learn from best practices from other, we should take best practices from other countries. Why Ghana? Why is it not that in advanced countries we don't hear that? Then we should also leverage technology. We should leverage technology. Let's have a technology that will be tracking the vans.
Yeah. It's long overdue.
Yes, technology that can track the vans. His Excellency Dr. Bawumia has been talking about, and he's doing well for not just talking about, but doing well in digitization. Yes, so let's utilize the digitization in this area to ensure normalcy. We can have a technology, right? A digital technology that can track the movement and even the details of all those on board. And perhaps the amount of money involved. The amount of money involved may not be open to any other person, but to the right person, maybe the bank, maybe from the source to the destination. We can have that. Two, we can also use the military helicopters.
Yeah.
Yes, even I've been told that the police will now have helicopters, or they'll be trained on helicopter piloting or something like that. Let's use that. But then, if we continue to behave like we are still in the 16th century, I mean, in handling money, my brother, people are smart in terms of criminality. You see? So we have an amalgamation of techniques that we can use to solve that problem.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Mazuk. Let me do a few of your Facebook messages. And this one here says, another waste of taxpayers' money, traveling to Dubai to do what? Well, Maria Adams says, this level of police criminality has never happened in Ghana's history. And Idrisu Alangwame says, good morning to you and your cherished listeners and viewers. My greetings to Honorable Alajike Kumbungu, Constituency NDC Youth Organizer, and all the NDC MPs in the 8th Parliament. Thank you for your program. Gambo Sadiku says, good morning, bless for your good job. We say a big no to e-levy. Compare Ghana to Qatar. Qatar only have oil, but they are doing well. Ghana, right. Thank you so much, Gambo Sadiku. Though your message at the tail end was not so clear. Francis Answer says, hypocrisy is John Mohammed's middle name. Yes, here we have a man who overburdened Ghanaians with all kinds of nuisance taxes, including taxing the poorest in society, the KIAs, and taxing condom, but did nothing with them except using those nuisance tax to sponsor babies.
No.
Please.
How?
Please.
Why?
Please. I stated clearly that if you insult anybody, I won't read your message. Osmanu Hamidu says, Indeed, the World Bank country director is absolutely right and concise on our economy. Hypocrisy on the part of this government is too bad. The people, positive change says the people who bragged all over the place in 2016 about economy fundamentals have just put the economy and its economy in the ditch. Nothing is working perfectly except corruption and mismanagement of state resources. This government is a scam. Honorable regards to Honorable Elvis Free Ankara. All right, thank you so much. So these are some of your messages. Mustafa Wakaso says, GM, good morning. I'm Mustafa Wakaso, watching you live from Tamale Technical University campus. Thank you so much, Mustafa, for doing the watching. But unfortunately, that's all time will permit us for this morning's edition of the show. Let me take Dr. Mazuk's final words.
Well, we are grateful to be here. We have discussed a number of issues, and the best we can do is to appeal to the government to do everything possible for us to enjoy economic prosperity. We love his policy on Ghana beyond aid, but we wonder if Ghana can go beyond aid with aid. We want to ensure self-reliance in our economic management, and therefore it is up to the government to tell us the truth of the matter so that we can also contribute our quota. Let Ghanaians also understand that it is our responsibility, whether we are members of the ruling party or not, to contribute our quota to the development of this country. Let us minimize politicization on national issues and maximize patriotism, and together we shall succeed. We also want to appeal to the international community to ensure that the world lives at peace. We want peace in the world. And we are also once again referring to the gender activists to ensure that their gender activism is balanced. It is reflective of gender equality and not gender disparity. Right. Thank you so much. We are very humbled. Once again, I say good morning to the cherished viewers of ours, and forever TV Africa is yours.
Pan-African TV.
Forever.
Pan-African TV. Yes. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Let me repeat it. Forever. Pan-African TV is yours.
Yes.
And you know why I always say TV Africa, TV Africa?
No.
You know, I was a regular panelist on TV Africa some time ago. But now that Pan-Africa has come to stay and has come to demonstrate his excellence in Africanism, then we are Pan-African TV, and Pan-African TV is Africa. Africa for Africans. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much to at home for doing the watching. Those of you who watched on Facebook, thank you so much. And we'll do that again tomorrow.
And tell Alaji Inusa that the tea should be ready. My brother Alaji Inusa at Alaju, that the tea should now be ready.
Okay, so you are driving straight to Alaju for the tea.
That's my elder brother.
Exactly.
And my nice little beautiful Fasiha is listening. I know she's watching. So I'm coming to drink the tea with her.
That's all. It's important. It's important. Thank you so much at home for doing the watching. Those of you who watched on Facebook, those of you who sent messages from Qatar, the UAE, those of you who watch from Tamale, we have a lot of viewership in Tamale, you know, in the northern region, the northern part of Ghana. I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't limit it to the northern.
Let me I have forgotten. One gentleman in Kumasi, at the weekend I was in Kumasi, I went to drink tea. You know, tea is my favorite. And then a gentleman saw me. So, oh, yes, are you Dr. Marzouk? Then I laughed. Say, oh, we are very proud of you. And TV, Pan-African TV, that's our station. Is Alhaji Abdul Ghani. And then another gentleman, alas, they took very good care of me. In fact, they did very well. And they sent a word that you and the rest of the staff here are the best. And you should continue to be the best. So good, I mean, excellent greetings to Alhaji Abdul Ghani and Alhaji Alhassan of Kumasi and all the cherished viewers in Kumasi.
We have viewers, Charlie. If you go to from Kumasi, even Bronga, half West, our viewership there is so strong.
Fantastic.
Charlie. We thank you so much for keeping it locked on Pan-African television. And I think we'll bring you the midday news at 12. But for now, we'll bring you a repeat of the couch. Keep on watching Pan African Television. My name is Blessed Man Alomaso, and I sat in for Kwame Osudan. So have a pleasant day.